an ablution block at a school in Bauleni. If you had gone there before, I'll share some footage and some images before and after. So we built an ablution block, so now kids can go to the school with their parents not worrying whether they'll be able to have access to clean water, to clean toilets, and proper sanitation. So basically creating a better environment for them to learn. They can focus on learning rather than having to focus on all these other things. And all these projects have been financed by individuals such as yourself and myself. We come together, we put the little resources we have. But see, when we put everything together, we have a bigger impact. So as part of our activities for the year, we decided to have this fundraising football tournament where we've invited to corporate, it's placed as a corporate tournament. We've invited different corporates to come through and participate. The age limit is 30 and above, so it's more of a Madalas type of tournament. Yeah. But I mean, we're looking at the right target, decision makers, people in the corporate world, people who can have an actual impact on the communities. Because remember, these are decision makers. So we're inviting them. We have 20 men's teams and 4 women's teams. So the tournament will happen on the 1st of May at Muni's Sports Complex, which is centrally located. The space is good, there's enough ample parking, and the idea is to have a fun day. So people can come with their families, people can have fun, but ultimately we have impactful engagement. So we're not just networking as business as usual, we're adding fun, we're adding entertainment, and just a more relaxed environment for people to network and get involved. We are also calling upon different corporates and institutions to come through. These are the people who are decision makers. These are the people who are entrepreneurs in the market. These are people who are managers in their professions. So we are inviting them to come through. They can advertise, they can do demos, they can engage the right people who they are targeting, and these are the people who make decisions in the market. So why not bring these people on board? Similar concept with what we are doing when we have our weekly lunch, only that we're having football. Football is very entertaining. It's also lifestyle and health impacting. So we'll run around. For every goal that is scored, that's a positive impact on the community. So we are inviting and urging corporates across the market to come through and participate.
Let's back it up just a little bit. Just from the beginning, how did you find this organization? How did you get together, and who founded it?
Okay, so there's a few gentlemen who ideally used to meet to have lunch at a restaurant called Buzz Cafe. Yeah. They offer some good food. But you see,
good food at Buzz Cafe is very good food.
Yeah. So you understand that where 2 or more people meet, there's always an exchange of positive ideas. And people notice so many things in the communities. And when people are eating, people share information. And these few gentlemen came down together and said, let's try and put our resources together. We see how best we can help. And small impact. And they invited more people until it was formalized. And you can see now, even from the projects that I've mentioned to you, that the impact is even greater. You understand? But we can still do more. And that's the reason why we go out to have these activities, so that we can raise more funds towards that we can channel towards these charity activities.
So what other activities did you have back in the days? Because of course you said it's been around for a decade. Apart from golf, I know that last year was golf.
Yes.
Yeah. So before golf, what were you doing?
Okay. And I wanted to mention the golf tournament.
Yeah.
It was our first time hosting or running a tournament such as that one, and it was a successful one. We have a few of our members who play golf.
Yeah.
So like I mentioned, it's a cocktail of different professionals, people with different interests, and golf was one of them. So you see, even with the golf, we understood that a lot of people who play golf, there's a lot of resources there.
A lot,
so we tapped into that area to try as much as possible as tap into those resources that are available there. And we were able to successfully generate some good revenue, which will also be channeling towards our charity organizations. Before that, we've had shows where we've invited DJs to come and play. We have DJs in our membership. We have the world-renowned DJ Gesh, and who also has a philanthropic heart.
Yeah.
So
a lot, I think.
and we all know that people love music, and music pulls people, pulls crowds. And we've had shows such as those where we use music to draw people and ultimately be able to raise funds from that to channel to the community. In the similar way, we use sports. We use golf. A lot of people love golf, and now we're using football. Everyone in Zambia loves football. I think football is like the number one sport. So tapping into people's interests for the greater good. Yes.
Let's talk about some of the places that you've renovated. I know you've mentioned Bowlen, you've mentioned another Malata, is it?
Yes.
How do you really get to find the particular place or the place that you have to work on?
That's a very good question, and I'll go back to some that I'd mentioned before, maybe just to illuminate further. We are a combination of different professions and interests, and people living around the city and even around the country. So we have people who are able to identify some of these places. And not only that, some people also come to us because we have helped a number of people in different ways. And people will identify some of these. But we have a team within the hierarchy of the structure of the club who ultimately go out when we're planning for activities or charity activities that we'll work on for the year. We go out looking for where there are gaps in the community. We have different people who live in different parts of the city and the country, and we go around identifying where we can come in and help. Of course, we cannot help everyone, and that's the reason why we extend our hand so that people can come in and also assist, so that we can work together to make the community a whole lot better.
How far have you gone? Is it just Lusaka?
Well, so far it's Lusaka. Though we have members who are outside of Lusaka.
Like Gesh is in Ndola?
It's in Ndola. We have one of our committee members who's sitting on the copper belt as well. So you have people who are dotted in different parts, and they give you insights on what's happening. Of course, the ideal is that we extend our works across the country, but we're still a fairly small club.
Yeah.
But we look
growing steady.
We're still growing, and I mean, if you look at the works that we're doing over the years, you see that we're scaling up. And ultimately what we're looking to do is spreading the same grace, the same effort, the same resources across the entire country.
So let's talk about the last year's event. You talked about golf, and you went to play golf. How many players did you have, and probably how much did you realize from that?
Okay, thank you for that question. We had around 30 players. Yeah. To give you a specific number of how much we raised, I would have to dig into my records. off the top of my head, I don't have a clear number. But of course I can always share. And we have all these things documented, which is a good thing. So even with regards to accountability, we ensure that everyone's accountable to the next person within the hierarchy. Yeah,
because because obviously where you're going, a lot of companies will get involved, and probably they would like to know how much you're using the money that being given to you.
Yes. So we have a clear structure in the club, and we have a treasurer who, and I think the top hierarchy, of course, ensures that all these records have been availed to the rest of the membership, and we do this to maintain transparency. So with regards to accounting, how much is collected per week, how much we have per month, how much we have at any time of the year, we ensure that this is shared. Even when we have our annual general meeting, all these records are shared. And like you're saying, if you're bringing corporates on board, they want to see the impact that you've made, right? And it's only right that we have our books in order to be able to share and show them the works that we've done.
Let's get to the event that is going to happen on Labor Day, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, so let's talk about it. You just briefly mentioned that you need how many teams?
So we're targeting 20 teams, 20 men's teams and 4 women's teams.
So how many are needed? How many of you do you
have so far we have, for the men's team, we have, I think, about 3 slots remaining. For the women's team, we have 1.
All right, and I do believe that you will be playing too.
Of course. You know, when you're 30 and above, you have to ensure that you stay, at least you maintain a healthy lifestyle.
Okay.
It'd be playing football, walking, running, whatever fits into your program. It's always good to get into some sort of regime.
Yeah.
Because you know, even these bodies that we have, at some point, just like a vehicle will start giving you issues, you have to ensure
you know,
that.
looking at you, you look like what that player that played for the big one.
Traore.
Traore. Traore. But anyways, that is on the light note. But I think for the women, how many teams you said still remain?
So for the women's, we have total four. So we have a slot for the women's team. Yes.
So can you mention how the categories, how it's going to be, like the games are going to be played?
Okay, thank you for that. What we have, the way we structured it, it's 7-a-side.
Okay.
So each team has 12 players, 7 on the field and 5 substitutions that they have available. So it's a fast-paced, structured in such a way that it's fast-paced. We're looking at time, and we're also trying to ensure that there's high participation.
Yeah.
And also remember that it's also a networking event. Yeah. So we want people to be able to play, but also be able to talk and engage with each other. So basically, that's how we've set it up. The program starts at 9 a.m. in the morning, and we're hoping to conclude by 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Yes.
And what's the duration for the game?
So each game is about 30 minutes.
30 minutes?
Yes.
So 15?
15, yes.
Yeah, that's a lot. For 7-a-side, I think it's really a lot.
I think
my brother can attest. We played 7-a-side and they were really tired. Like, they didn't even want to get back and play.
Well, I mean...
It's fast-paced, really.
People will run.
Yeah.
But people also have fun.
Yeah.
And that's the whole idea. We have fun, we network, and we make an impact in the community.
All right, so let's talk about how some of the teams. I know that there's some places to be filled. Yes. In terms of teams coming through. How much do they have to pay for them to affiliate to this tournament?
So participation fee is 3,500 kwacha only, and that's for a team of 12.
Okay.
Yes. Then we have 3 prizes. The grand prize being 5,000 kwacha, and the runners-up 3,000 kwacha, and third place is 2,000 kwacha.
No fourth.
No. Everyone else outside that is fourth place.
So anything other than bronze, nobody will get money. So let's talk about anything else that is going to happen around that, because you said it's a fun part. And probably if you bring kids to watch the game the whole day, I think they will get tired.
Yeah,
they really need something that is going to keep them, just enjoying and having fun as well.
All right. The concept is to have we'll have food stands.
Okay.
So people can have something to eat. We're trying to have a variety of food available to cater to everyone. We'll have drinks. We'll have a slew of DJs, a whole lineup. DJs will be playing at the location.
Before we get to that, so how, if I want to have a stand, how much do I have to pay?
Okay, so if you want to have a
stand,
it's part
of fundraising.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Of course, the venue is not ours, and
yes,
we respect Munis Sports Club, and we appreciate for them allowing us to have that event.
Yeah.
Those rates we can, of course, share. I think my number has been placed on the advert, and anyone who is interested can get in touch with me, and we can share that information with them.
Yeah.
So the whole idea is you have your children there. It's a family fun day. Your family is spending some time together, and then for the corporates who would want to advertise, they can come through, and people who are sponsoring can advertise. They can have their branding available, and whilst people are socializing, networking, and having fun, you can now engage them, which is different from your traditional advertising, right?
Yes.
This is a more relaxed environment. But remember, you have decision makers and people who are key in the market, and you can engage them. You can upsell your products. You can advertise. You can even do demonstrations, because there's a lot of space. You have the whole day to do all this, but ultimately, you are making an impact as well, because as a sponsor, whatever you're paying is going towards the community.
The fans, are they going to pay for them to come in?
Pardon?
If I want to watch.
If you want to watch. No, there's no entry fee for the event. Yes.
All right. So for a lot of people to come through, I think they need to know some of the names that are coming, and I know that Mr. Rock.
Yes, Mr. Rock.
Mr. Rock, I would like to see him play because I've heard him talk about football so much.
So,
Together with Temwani, I know Temwani can't play.
no, well, I mean, I think people will be shocked.
Shocked
Yes,
that he can play.
we have a lot of Madalas
Theo can play.
who still have.
Seen him play.
Yeah, we have a lot of Madalas who still have some skill in them.
Some skill.
Yes, and I think it's a good opportunity to see them play. Yes,
Yeah.
showcase their abilities.
Talent.
Yes.
I don't know, but maybe I know Lee plays and
Yes.
he used to play football. Even Mr. Rock at one point, I know that he played football at one point.
Yes.
I know he may not know me, but I know him that much,
Okay.
and he loves football so much. And Theo, I know that I've actually seen him play.
Okay.
I've never seen Temon play, really.
Well, it's an opportunity for you.
For me to see him play.
Yes.
So the music, you've talked about the DJs that are going to be around.
Yes.
Can you just highlight some of those DJs that are going to be part of?
Well, we haven't concluded the entire list, but of course, Mr. Rock will be there as well. Aside from playing, he'll be on the ones on the ones and twos, as they say. What we're trying to do is we incorporate a list of DJs that tap into different type of music, basically covering a variety of people's music tastes, so that when you're there, ultimately you're covered.
Everyone covered.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So, anything else that you'd like to share? I know it's going to be really fun. And for those of you who are still waiting, if you've got a team, go and register. It's only 3,500, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So just go and register your team. Go and play. And I think you'll be doing the right thing because you will be helping the community where you're coming from to just make sure that we don't really just every day cry for government help. But I think we have to do something before government comes in. Yeah, so anything else that you'd like to share? And I think you can look into that camera and just talk to the people out there. Just tell them the fun that they will be missing if they're not going to show up.
Okay.
And it's going to be a holiday, though. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, it's a holiday, and we invite corporates, private institutions to come in to collaborate with us. We're inviting you to make an impact on the community, to be able to upsell your products to customers, to engage the right people, decision makers and people in the corporate space, but ultimately you'll be making an impact on the community.
You haven't picked the recipient of this fundraising?
No, not yet. So like I mentioned, what we do is towards the end of the year, unless it's something that's pressing, towards the end of the year,
that's when you do, okay.
Yeah, we plan our activities all the way to the end of the year. So then we want to ensure that even at execution time, everything is in place, everything is ready, rather than having to do it on the fly.
All right. Do you have any budget or something that you'd like to, how much money you want to fundraise you're looking at the end of the year?
At the end of the year? Yeah. Well, our chair was very ambitious for this year. His plan was that we should be able to raise over 300K this year.
You will.
And we definitely will.
In fact, you even go beyond.
Thank you very much.
The fact that you've come to Prime Television Zambia on Wake Up Zambia, I definitely believe and hope that you're just really going to even just get $1 million.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm more ambitious than your chair.
I hope you can give me that check right now or right after this show.
All right, thank you very much for coming through and sharing with us. We appreciate that a lot. And it's called Kick for Charity.
Kick for Charity.
Oh, it's a catchy phrase or catchy theme that you have.
Absolutely.
That is, a lot. And I'm pretty sure that it's just that my friends can't play. We could have come through and just be part of this team.
You can come through and run around.
They can't kick the ball. They kicked the ball. 2 weeks they never showed up. They never showed up. Never showed up for a week. And we don't have a goalkeeper because our goalkeeper was allowed more goals. Yeah, so it's one of the goals that he allowed was from the center.
Oh wow.
So it was a very sad situation, but anyways, it was 7-a-side as well. So yeah,
okay.
But it's a good thing that you're doing that, and congratulations for that. And I think it's a good thing if we have so many organizations that are coming together, or so many people that are coming together to help the community, come up with so many things that are going to help out. And in this case, you are helping people to be healthy and probably to interact and not be alone, because I think mental health is most of those that have been involved in or have mental health is because they're isolated. So I think this isolation should be away. I think you should be laughing, enjoying the music as we are dancing, enjoy the football, because even football will be comedy at some point, because Dallas it's also going to be comedy.
Yes.
So it's a whole lot of fun that you are going to get, and I know that I didn't have to say this, but I from what I hear, Threw is going to be the MC. Throwmatic, the bad boy.
Throwmatic.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you very much for coming through, and thank you for making sure that everything is working out for people out there, and what you've really done, people can actually see and attest to the works that you've been doing. So thank you very much, and continue doing that. We'll go for a break. On the other side, we continue with Wake Up Zambia. Zambia has seen what I may call unprecedented, growth when it comes to creative industry, and many people have come to the full realization of their God-given talent, and some of them are bent towards exploiting them. Some of them are still thinking twice as to when they are going to start exploiting, their talents that they have. And of course, because of the growth that we've seen in the last 20 years, the government has seen it fit to come up with regulations that are going to govern, the creative industry in order to protect the rights of the people that are engaged or involved in this creative industry rather. And the Patents and Companies Registration Agency, PACRA, in 2025 thought it wise to come up with a bill so that the creative industry can be regulated. And of course, like any other bill, this one hasn't come without any hindrance. Many sectors, many stakeholders have come up with so many reactions, some of them saying that the bill does not support what is supposed to be, the benefit of the creative artists that are involved in this whole industry. And of course, we have to get down to all these things and understand exactly what should be done, and of course, how can Zambia benefit from this particular bill or anything like it, in order for it to be, of course, we are talking of domesticating international treaties or bills, and we have to talk about this as well. And we are privileged in the studio to play host to an international lawyer. I call her international lawyer because she's somebody who's been across the globe and understands, issues of copyright as well as intellectual property. And this is no other than Jeren Taigun, who is with us in the studios. Jeren, good morning, and thank you for joining us on Wake Up Zambia.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Once again, I hope I got your names correctly.
Yes, definitely, definitely.
All right, so you are an intellectual lawyer, intellectual property lawyer, and I think you've been around for some time. Let's first get to hear your story, your journey in this industry.
My journey actually started as a creative, as an actress and writer.
Uh-huh.
And then after a while, I decided to study law, and I thought, what better than study something that will help my own people?
Yeah.
creative people. So I specialized in intellectual property,
Okay.
copyright law.
And where was that?
This was in Amsterdam, in Holland.
In Holland. Okay, so your interest to study law was simply to see how best that creatives or creative artists can be protected.
Yes, actually, I actually started from motion pictures. So because the film law, it was not regulated very well. The copyright bill that we have in Holland is actually very old. It's from 1912, so it's not new at all. And the neighboring rights, so the rights that protect the performers, is way newer than that. But it's connected to the copyright because they just kind of show each other and when there is a problem. But it's too old. 1912 is quite old. Of course, you didn't have movies, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
So everything needs to be changed. So in Zambia right now, they are more in the starting stages of composing a copyright bill. And as you said, that already creates problems. But once you have it, the problems don't go away because you have to change it continuously. It's a market that changes very, very quickly.
Let me just ask you this question before we leave. That I call it history. 1912 is more than 100 years ago.
Exactly.
Yes, and it seems all the laws that are being formulated to do with the creative arts are also connected to the 1886 law that was created then. And why is it that we still stick to that when it's quite old? And like you mentioned, we never had this cinematography, issues like that.
Exactly. Back then, they wanted to, because actually it started when people started documenting things. For instance, if you were a circus trapeze artist or something, people would come to the circus to see you. But once they started recording this, they stopped coming to watch you. So these kind of things kind of made them think about maybe we should have a law to help these people, because otherwise no one will ever go to see their show. They won't earn anything. So this was kind of the thinking. But if you think of that, the circus artists in the late 1800s and now with TikTok, with it's actually crazy how fast everything has evolved. So you cannot just take everything from one bill. You have to have a lot of jurisdiction, a lot of amendments to the bills. It just moves too quickly.
So Zambia doesn't want to be left out in this, and of course the government thought wise to say they need to find means and ways on how to protect those in creative arts in the country, and they decided to come up with this bill, which awaits enactment if everything falls in place, and. We've got stakeholders, like for instance in Zambia we've got Zamcorps, we've got PAGs, we also have ZASO, and they are saying that the bill, the way it is in its current form, is not fit to be enacted into law. I'm pretty sure that you have read the bill yourself. Comparing it with, for instance, Holland and maybe Turkey, what is it that you feel would be done in order for people just to be encompassed, or the creative artists to be encompassed in this bill?
Well, what I saw the most, what the biggest difference would be, in Holland, our fight would be most of all with the producers or the streaming or so the powerful companies who own all these organizations, because the artist, the creative, is quite weak. It's even though you are actually the most important person creating, you are still very weak. So they always have the feeling of you are just one in 1,000 others that I could hire for this position, kind of a feeling. So we were most of all trying to protect the weak position of the artist against the producers. Here, of course, I don't know enough about Zambian bill, but still what I really felt was, I think the protection is mostly against the government, was my feeling, which is very different to the Dutch, because there the government actually doesn't do anything. It's not even a party. It just arranges it and leaves it to the people who are. It was different here, and I could sense that the lawyers that you were talking about were really concerned about this fact, that it should be really protected, that the government shouldn't impose anything on the creativity of the actor, the musician, the writer. It should be really separate.
Oh, yeah. For instance, one of the contentious articles or clauses in this bill is the fact that collective management organizations, CMOs,
Yeah.
are supposed to be government statutory
Yeah.
rather than artist-led. Let's just look at the differences between maybe Holland and Turkey and the way this proposal has come up in Zambia.
I have to say, government does have a little bit of a say in it, but it's usually unions. And union is a little bit more on the side of the creative than the government. It is a government organization, but still, an artist will feel like they are protecting my interests because it's my union. I think that might work better, because if it's the government, people might think, yeah, but what if the government doesn't like me? And then, because it's a very powerful entity, the government.
Especially that in Zambia, for instance, you're aware this is an election year, so there are
Yeah.
some musicians that would prefer to do songs maybe for opposition political party leaders.
Exactly. And now they would be like, oh, let me not do that because it might have concussions for me.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't want that. You want the creatives to be as open as possible. The freedom of speech, the freedom of creation should be as open as possible.
Oh, yeah.
So the government cannot have a hold on it. But I must admit, there was a lady from the government, I forgot her name now, last week when we had the meeting with all these stakeholders.
Oh, yeah.
And I really liked the fact that she was there, because she didn't have to be. She could also say, no, we are waiting for your pointers about what you don't like about the bill, and I will react after. No, she was there listening, and she really said, I would love to hear what you have to say, because we want to make the best bill possible.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought that was quite charming, and I thought, okay, so there is a will. So I think we should always look at it from a positive side, and then think, okay, as long as we are sitting on the same table and we are willing to negotiate, we might come up with something worthwhile.
Oh, yeah.
But what I understood from the colleagues, they feel right now it's not there yet.
Okay, so you are a lawyer, and I'll drag you a little bit into this. Yes, because 2 years ago, there was a bill just like it, which actually PACRA proposed, that is the government through PACRA, they proposed that bill, and stakeholders came on board and said, no, we cannot accept this one. They submitted, they made oral submissions, and the government said, you put those submissions in written, which they did, but surprising enough, 2 years down the line, this bill that we're talking about doesn't contain any of those submissions that were made. As a lawyer, what do you think should have been done just to ensure that maybe the voices of these stakeholders is heard?
Well, it actually does sound like they were ignored, and that doesn't coincide with my positive view of because then they do not wish to work together.
Okay.
I mean, we can, of course, still say maybe they learned from this, and now they want to do it differently. They really want to look at it. I hope so, because you have to work together to get a good. Because if you have a dysfunctional bill, then what's the point?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can just leave it. So I'm hoping that they really want to make it work. And because if you want to work with international organizations, you want your productions to be taken seriously across the borders, you have to have a functional bill. Otherwise, it just won't work.
Okay. So, Jiren, as a copyright and intellectual property lawyer, looking at all these things that we're talking about right here, how do you think would be the best way for creative artists to benefit from their works in Zambia? Is it when the government takes control of everything, and then, or maybe when the CMOs are actually independent from the authority or semi-autonomous, let me put it that way? And do you think that if the government takes control, the artists are going to be protected?
No, because I'm a firm believer in unions or agencies, people that really protect the artists and which are not connected to a production company, to the government, any of these things.
Oh, yeah.
They should be really solely on the side of the creative. Because the creative should take care of himself or herself. But that's quite difficult. It's quite difficult because you need to be loved. Sometimes a negotiation can go a little sour.
Yeah.
And if it does, you don't want to be the one picking the fight with the producer, because the producer will not like you, will not hire you next time. This is your bread. So you need someone next to you who's fighting for you.
Oh, yeah.
Who's of course also diplomatic. You don't want a bulldozer who comes in and breaks down everything.
Exactly.
But still, you need someone. And that someone cannot be the government.
Okay. Let me take you a little bit from issues of intellectual property and copyright issues. I'm seeing paper on your nails, paper on your hair, and there's a purple t-shirt there. Let's just talk a little bit about this.
About
What
the
is it all
purple.
about?
Well, this is actually, I don't know if you knew, you're actually also wearing purple, but yesterday...
Oh, I'm just realizing that.
Thank you. So on Thursday, 26th of March, it was a Purple Day. And across the globe, that's the day, well, I shouldn't say celebrated, but it's the day for epilepsy.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of people in the world who have epilepsy and who are misunderstood and who are not, well taken care of. And Zambia, strangely, suffers greatly with epilepsy patients. It's I don't know what the reason exactly is, but it's we have so many people who have epilepsy in Zambia. So there is an organization, so I will take it with me. So this was the t-shirt that we were selling for the Purple Day, wearing purple for epilepsy awareness. And it's actually the Epilepsy Association of Zambia. This is a great organization. So we organized a lot of events throughout March to children, or they're possessed, and it's none of those things. So it's a very important cause, I thought, and it's kind of, I don't know, a little bit forgotten. Nobody really takes care of it. So we were like, we have to fight for it. So we were busy with this.
In most African societies, you find that a family that has got an epileptic child, for instance, they either choose to hide them from the public, and they don't seek medical attention for such, or any medical help that would be available. Just a word of encouragement. I know it may not be the custom of many people, many societies, to go and just try and find out, is there any epileptic symptom in this person, and what is it that we can do? Just a word of encouragement to them, or advice.
Well, because I even didn't know exactly what happens with you when you have a seizure. And the lady from the organization explained it to me so well. She said, well, it's like the brain is like the center of your body and sends like text messages to all parts of your body, and your body reacts to that. When a patient is having a seizure, it's like a lightning of text messages in the brain. So brain starts sending like hundreds of messages all around. So body cannot react to it because doesn't know what to do. So starts seizing. So it's actually just a problem in the brain. Nothing else is going on. So I would just say, please, because if you have good medication and you're well taken care of, you can have a very normal life. Either never a seizure. This is possible. So a very normal life. For instance, Prince, who sang Purple Rain, had epilepsy. There are so many famous people who actually suffer from this disease, and we don't even know about it. So it's definitely possible to have a perfect life if you are well taken care of. So that's what we're hoping for Zambia.
I'll bring you back to the African societies. Most of them have, developed this myth, which they've lived with for years, that epilepsy is actually also connected to mental instability.
Which is not true at all. It's but even I remember, I grew up in Turkey. I remember people used to say like, "Oh, what's happening to her? Maybe there is something wrong," or the things that people would say, or they would also say, oh, you have to hold them, put sticks in their mouths. And apparently you don't have to do anything. You just have to keep them safe, and the seizing will stop on its own. There are so many misunderstandings, so many like fables that we grow up with.
Oh yeah.
But especially the worst thing, if you have to hide your child because you think it's possessed or satanic, or it's so not true, and how sad for a child who has this disease.
Really sad indeed. So there you have it. If in case you've got any member of your family who is epileptic, I think the solution is there. The best you can do is visit the nearest hospital to you and just get a diagnosis of what could be the problem, and from there you're going to get professional help. That's the best thing that you can do. Let me drive you back to the copyright. You're a copyright and intellectual property lawyer. So what would your advice be to, of course, the patents company registration authority agency PACRA, and the government of Zambia, as well as the stakeholders? What is it that you think can be done for us to just have something that is going to stand the test of time and protect even those that are going to come up in the future as creative artists?
Well, I do think to be united is the best thing. So now we have National Association of Media Arts.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's definitely a very good start, because if you have an organization where most artists will unite, then you can make a fist. You can really say, no, this is not the bill we want. We want it differently. Because if there are 10 people across the room shouting, no, we want it different and we're going to submit our ideas, it's easy to ignore. Sometimes it's not even out of meanness, but you cannot listen to everybody.
Oh yeah.
So you have to get a bill. But if it's an organization with, let's say, 250 members, 2,500 members, 250,000 members, then that can't be ignored. The bigger you are, the stronger you are.
Oh yeah.
So I would always advise the weaker parties to unite and then make a fist together and then fight together for the best bill.
Not trying to push you into inciting, but just your word, should this bill go through and is enacted into law, what do you think would be there for, like the stakeholders? What should they do? Is there any form or any chance of them to seek a legal redress over the issue?
I think that's always possible. But if the power of the government is very, very high, then I wonder, because if it depends on what will go through in the end. If the government also will, go a little bit softer, or understand, or completely step out. But I don't know if that's too much to ask. But then, if they really remain as powerful as they seem to be now, that might be really difficult, because where are you going to go? It's as I understood it from the bill, as it is right now. The proposal is there is nowhere to go. And I think that's the reason that all the colleagues were really, one of them literally called it, this would be a disaster.
Exactly.
And I think he's right, because I don't know where you would go.
Especially on the powers that are taken away from the private, I call them private, CMOs, and given to the government.
Yeah.
I feel that is going to somehow injure the creative artists in the country.
Yes, well, definitely.
All right, let me just get your closing remarks as we come to the close of this interview.
My closing remark, well, once again, thankful that I could be here, and I'm also really excited to be, in a sense, part of this very exciting time for Zambia. And I really, really hope that all the parties are here with a positive mindset and really want the best bill, instead of seeking power.
Oh yeah.
Because power struggle will kill all the parties in the end. It's good for nobody. Because we don't want a power position. We also don't want the power position for the creatives or the other side. We want everybody to be open, to be creative, to make the best things that we can for Zambia.
Oh yeah.
So I hope if that's the mindset, it will be a perfect bill. If that's not the mindset, we're going to be fighting for a long time.
Jiren, thank you so much for coming through. It's been a pleasure talking to you and giving us that, expertise, advice on this corporate bill. And we hope to just have, more time to talk with you so that you give us more details on how we can benefit should it go through the way in its current state. What is it that, we can do now as a people in the creative industry just to ensure that our rights are never, trampled upon. All right, thank you so much once again.
Thank you.
This is Wake Up Zambia, and we've been talking to Jiren Taigun right here, who is a copyright and intellectual property lawyer, talking to us about her journey and, of course, suspending some advice on what, could be something that is going to work out for the creative industry in Zambia. I'm Tommy Samuel Tembo, and let's just go on a short break. On the other side, we join D Black with entertainment right here. To stay with us.
At exactly 07:22 hours this Tuesday, March 24, 2026, more suspects were brought into Solwezi Central Police following a major overnight operation by the Zambia Police Service, working alongside other law enforcement agencies. The operation led to the arrest of 259 additional suspects in connection with the brutal killing of a 46-year-old woman from Chingola in Kisasa area of Kalumbila district. Northwestern Province Police Commissioner Brighton Siwale has confirmed the development.
Our officers moved in last night and they conducted a very successful operation.
We are still on Wake Up Zambia, and thank you very much. And now we dive into sports and just talk about a number of issues pertaining to sports and so much more that is going on right here. All right, so we start with the Zambia national team. They will be playing against Malawi this afternoon, and let's see how Zambia is going to perform at the four national tournament. And this tournament is a great tournament, especially for Team B. And this is one thing that we were talking about. If Zambia can manage at this particular moment, can manage to have Team A and Team B, Team A that have gone to play against Argentina on Tuesday, and then Team B that are playing against Malawi, and if they win, they will play the winner between Botswana and Zimbabwe that will go to play tomorrow. And this is just the four national tournament, and that's a beautiful thing because they do have 2 games to play and 2 games to win this particular four national tournament. All they have to do is just win the games. And we spoke to the coaches. They really are happy. And one thing that is very beautiful is that the 2 coaches have come into the the competitive games. One of them has been taken to go and play against Argentina, and they are already in Argentina, and the other one is in Botswana. This assistant. So those two that were picked just recently, they are the coaches that are, of course, we're talking about Oswald Junior Mutapa, or Oswald Mutapa Junior, who is with the team in Botswana for the national team tournament, and then we've got another coach that is George Chicken Rwandamina. George Rwandamina, that is in Argentina, to play against Argentina. This is going to be amazing to have and amazing to play. So they will play 2 games, and in Argentina they will play 1 game, and the game is going to be on the 31st of March, and that's the last day of the games in Botswana as well, on the 31st. So it's going to go from 28th today to 31st, and of course they will be playing games and see exactly how that's going to be. So 3rd and 4th will be played on Monday, and the final will be played on Tuesday for the 4 national tournaments. Anyways, away from that, we do have the local league that will be happening today, obviously, and tomorrow. So some of the games that will be happening, Chambeshi will be playing, and it's amazing to have so many great games that will be playing in the National Division 1 games that will be happening, and absolutely great games for those that would like to see. Ron United will be in action. And for me, Ron United is one team that stylish. Ron United back in the days, Besuma played for this particular team. We had so many other great players that plays for this particular team, and hopefully we might just see so many other this team to get into the big league. And we're talking about the MTN Fire Super League. First of all, it is very possible that they can do that, but it all depends on how they're going to perform at this particular moment. And of course, if they perform very well, they might just get into the into the Premier League. And in the playoffs, what happened was, I think I was reminded how Ron United qualified into from the playoffs, and it was very difficult for them to just get there. So we do have that particular game. It's an MTN Fire Super League game. It is going to be Konkola Blades against Nkwazi. Remember that this is week 22, scheduled week 22 games, and Nkwazi were traveling. They went to this particular. They wanted to go to Chirabombo to go and play this game. But unfortunately, the bridge was destroyed, so they couldn't pass. They couldn't go and play. So what happened was that they ended up rescheduling the game, and after the bridge was worked on, and then they had to reschedule the game, and here we are. They're playing it in this particular time when it's international week. Every other team is playing international games, and that is just one thing that is happening at the moment. So obviously that's just one thing that transpired, and yeah, here we are, obviously, and so much more that will be coming through in as far as the National Division 1 is concerned. Maybe let me just pick some of the fixtures that I can actually give you on top of my head. I do have some of the games that will be played this afternoon, but let's get to, because I'll have to talk about what will be happening on Sunday, because most of those games will be in Lusaka. So I just really need to mention that Chirundu United will be playing against Rwanda Radiance at Imboila Stadium, and then we have Locus FC versus Aguila Stars. This will be in Lusaka. This one is going to be at Nationalist Stadium. Nationalist Stadium is just Chimbokaila. They're around Chimbokaila. That's where you can find this Nationalist Stadium. And then another one that will be in Lusaka is River Plate versus let's go Lusaka. It's a Lusaka derby. It's going to be at Independence Stadium, just behind the old Independence Stadium, and you know exactly where you have to find it. It's going to be happening. And then we have other games. Chambishi will take on Ron United. I talked about stylish Ron United. All they have to do is just continue winning from here today, and of course they have to continue winning these games for them to qualify. We only have some few games remaining, and Forest Rangers will play against Kafua Celtic. Kafua Celtic are playing very good football, and of course we have to watch them. For those of you who can watch them before you watch them when they play against Zanaco in Absa Cup. So we do have Jumulo who play against Quito United, Chingalika, and then we have Ndola United versus Indeni FC Oilomen. They will be playing, and then River Plate, as I said, Atletico Lusaka. Chipata City Council will play against Makeni All Stars. So these are some of the games that will be played, and more games that will be talked about as well. So obviously, we did have some of the games that were played in the Moody Cup, that is futsal. We had Stout, we had Automotive Lusaka managed to win their game, and of course we do have some of the teams that will play in the finals. already. So we're looking forward to see how they're going to pair themselves and how they're going to do it. So that is much more of what we had in terms of what is going to happen. So those games were played last night, and as we were doing the show last night, we were talking about the games, the result that were going to come through. Automotive, really, they look like the team, and I do remember that Tommy said something about Automotive, and they managed to win 10 goals to nil, 10-0, beating a team like they were not even doing anything. Anyway, it was just one of those things that happened. And of course, 5-3 Green Buffaloes in the finals of this particular tournament. They beat CSS Petauke, and nobody expected to see CSS Petauke losing to Green Buffaloes. But of course, we're going to have Green Buffaloes and Lusaka Automotive to play in the finals of this Mundi Cup. Well, these are some of the games that we'll be expecting, and I know there's also international games. This is a team that is going to meet our very own Zambia national soccer team, and you can actually see the creme de la creme of Argentina team. Everybody, every player that you can think of is part of that particular team, and we are looking forward to this particular game. And a lot of people have been saying Zambia is going to be massacred, but football being football, I don't really think so. It's going to be really difficult to beat them. And then those are some of the under-17 women national team, and of course we will be having some of the playoffs or the qualifiers to the World Cup. And obviously that the under-17 women have qualified to back to the World Cup, so it's becoming a trend for them to qualify. And coming through to Barbara Banda, of course, she met Michelle, and just before the game they played against Michelle's team, and Barbara Banda scored. She has been scoring for the past 3 games that she's played, back from an injury, came back running, and of course she hit the ground running just from there instantly, and she's been scoring goals. But before that, there was a photo shoot that happened between the two, and that was amazing because you remember that she plays for Nigeria, and she played for Nigeria when we were beaten 5-0 at the WAFCON, and of course we are meeting them again in the same group, and they're the defending champions. We are meeting them again against Nigeria, and they have to really say, when we are in Africa, we compete against each other, but when we are in Europe or in America or ever globally, it's Africa to the world. So that is much more, and they were showing what they've really done, and the diverse cultures, Nigeria, Zambia. It's amazing to see that these ladies are performing up to expectations and doing exactly what they're doing. But I'm glad that our very own Babla Banda is doing exactly what she's supposed to do. And of course, talking about Amizo, that happened last week on Saturday and Sunday. That was a beautiful tournament. 40,000 kwacha. Mo Fire managed to win it. Mofia, he's 40,000 kwacha richer, and the 20,000 kwacha went for the ladies. It's amazing to see that this happened. It was beautiful to see all that, and I think kudos to the people that brought everything together, and that made sure that they work out everything just to work out positively. And they had to make sure that they remind us of those that the pioneers that have been in this game for the longest period of time, that did well in as far as pool is concerned. So they really brought they paved the way to the people even getting the 10,000, the 20,000, the 40,000 kwacha is because of these people that were honored. And we talked about Tom Mijelo, Tom Chocolate, as he's fondly known. He's the one that brought the very first Africa Cup to Zambia, and they won it in Malawi. Remember that in 2012 we won our first Africa Cup in pool. We have 2 Africa Cups. We won the other one in 2022 in Zambia. We hosted it at OIDC, but of course Tom Chocolate was a president when they won it the first time in 2012. And then there was Alfred, also was Alfred Rupup was also another person that was honored because of UTH. He was the chairman at UTH, and he managed to win 18 trophies. Amazing, isn't it? Amazing for Put team. And of course, some of these, even the winner for the Amizo Cup tournament, the second edition, passed through UTH. So many of the pool players that you can think of, the likes of Bega, the likes of all those great players, they passed through. And Bega is in France at this particular moment, but of course they passed through UTH, and they played at UTH, and that's just amazing. They passed through him. So he was a pioneer to making sure that pool is got a future, and we can talk about it. And Gwira Tamara was also honored because she was the first lady to win a bronze medal at the World Cup, which was hosted in Morocco in 2022. The team was constituted 4 months before the World Cup was played, after the Africa Cup of Nations was won in Zambia, and the team was supposed to travel, and they just constituted a team, and Tamara was the first captain to win that gold medal. It was the first captain for the women's team, the first captain to win the gold medal, the bronze medal, beg your pardon, at the World Cup. So she is the World Cup bronze medalist, and that's the reason why she was honored and given this, because she was the captain for the team that was difficult to manage. You know, people are difficult to manage, but she managed to manage them, or she managed to manage the managing of the teams. Anyways, this is all we had for you in as far as sports is concerned, this segment in Wake Up Zambia. And I think on behalf of my colleagues Tommy Samuel Tembo and D Black Malachi, in their absentia, thank you very much for being part of the Wake Up Zambia team. We'll be back next week at the same time. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of our programming. And a big up to PMC, the pressure T, is managing us upstairs. It's really difficult to manage people like D Black and Tommy Samuel Tembo, but he's managing them and making sure that everything is looking lacquer right here. And of course, not forgetting Kedni Mwansa Bankana. I know Bankana, they're doing relatively well, but Baranda Tidikulu, so Bakedi Nidikulu Nkana for managing everything that has been happening. Until next week, God bless you. Bye-bye.
Very good platform. Yeah, starting from the two games that we are going to play. But it's important that we understand, yes, it's developmental, but also we have to know that it's important that we have that habit of winning, and for us to do better at the senior level, even at developmental, we need to start winning and show that we are capable of doing what is required of us. A very youthful side, but with a lot of games in their legs, in terms of having played for the under 17, having played for the under 20. Of course, now upgrading to under 23, a bit of experience. I think one of them is Abraham Shankobo. But we are just trying to mix so that even as we go, it's important that, like you have said, other teams are even fielding professionals. But we are also picking players that to try and deliver the results. Football is the same everywhere you go. So there is no way we are going to fear. You just have to compete, just like the other team going to Argentina. For me, no need to fear. It's a platform given, first as an individual, then secondary as a team, and maybe thirdly as a country. We need to go there, showcase our talents, but also show effort that we are capable of doing and bringing the results. Always an interesting derby with Malawi, our neighbors, but it's the application on the day of the game, and I feel we have the players that can do the job. Yes, maybe them fielding even professionals, but we have the boys that are able to do the job. Firstly, we have to believe in ourselves. We have to believe in ourselves that we are a very capable side. Yes, with maybe 5-6 sessions that we have had, you could see the abilities of the boys. But again, remove the fear, go out and enjoy, play to your abilities as well. Like I said earlier on, we need the mentality of winning and the habit of winning always.
I think first of all, I would like to thank the coaches and first for starting this program as early as possible. I think it's a very important tournament, looking at our age group and what we want to achieve, like the Olympics which are coming ahead. It's a very good preparation for us. Firstly, I would say we are prepared. I think we are equal to the task. And yeah, they have experience, but football is being played on the field, and how you apply yourself is how the results will come. I think From the first day, we have been talking with some senior players and looking at where our football is. I think this is not where we want to be as Zambia. And the message is so clear that we have to take Zambia back to where we belong. Yeah, they welcomed us very well. I think we can't complain about that. And they have been encouraging us to say that's how they also started. They have been here where we are right now. So what matters is just the hard work, the discipline, and the consistency. My message is let them support us. Yeah, we know it's not an easy thing, but to do our level best to bring the results back home.